Okay, here we go. As you know, airbag trailers, we make them in Christchurch. I'll do a quick walk around before I go through the detail for you. You can see clearly this trailer is a bit different. We've got dual air tanks on the front and we have included a pneumatic jockey wheel lifted. There's a specific reason for that. Much the same layout as you've seen on other trailers, spare wheel. I'll show you inside the box in a minute. We've managed to find the decking sheet from our supplier in a very long one piece so that we've avoided any screws. Obviously the trailer's used, you can see it's a bit dirty. He's had it for a week. 3mm steel back plate here for the mounting, and the deck has no screws on the top, so it's screwed from the bottom and it's glued, and you can see that there are some holders built into the deck where if he wants to cart motorcycles, we've got a little component that fits in there. But you can also use that for mounting some brackets and things if you want to side load with a forklift truck. So same dimensions. This one's 1800 internal between the sides, and you can see that it's got a strong back right along both sides in the front. That just takes any potential for bending moment out of the trailer. The standard shock absorbers, the rear lights tucked in away in those stanchions so that they're nice and safe, they're not going to get hit. And we've made a few changes to the suspension and it looks a bit better. That's our standard airbags. We've got some lighting included on the front here, and of course another couple of lights down in here. What we've done on the suspension, instead of putting that nut and bolt system that goes through here, which is the shaft that holds the suspension on, we've basically knocked that off and welded a plate to it so that you avoid having that nut sitting under here, because it doesn't really carry any twisting moment. It just gets done up. Standard airbags that we use, we take them from a number of suppliers. Firestone do one. We've got a couple of Chinese suppliers. They're much the same. They don't deteriorate. People are worried about the sun and having them covered. We've had trailers out there for many years now. I suppose it would make sense to cover it if you were doing a lot of work that involves sharp objects or, you know, wrecked vehicles, but we've never had a failure and never had a punctured airbag, and the stones don't appear to get caught in here. We've just never had an airbag problem, full stop. Wheel bearings are holding up well, and we use a standard bearing in here and in the other side, slightly heavier than the plans designed for that bearing carrier, but it does the job. Pretty big beefy mount on the back for the number plate. They tend to get knocked, but that's a good safe place for it. And you would have seen all these fittings. So there's our motorcycle carrier, just pops in and out, makes it easy if you want to carry a motorcycle. And you can buy these aftermarket, very, very cheap. We happen to make that one. Dual tanks, 2 reasons. This guy has a company that carries farm equipment, and they do many cycles a day. And if they have a big load on it, like 2 tonne plus, you want the thing to go up quickly with one fill of air without having to start the pump again. However, saying that, the pump is in the standard position. It lives underneath here, and the onboard battery gets charged through the trailer system if your car's set up for it. And we've included the remote control, the normal valves. That's a switch for the pump. See, that one goes on, it's turned itself off, it's reached temperature. That's the main switch. That turns off all the braking system, which is mounted down there, and the other electronics. There's our PCB in here, and that PCB just makes it easier to wire it up. Everything's labelled, and it's just it's got the relays in it that handle the solenoids, and we find it very useful. So easy peasy, can't really tell you much. This is innovative, we like this. Basically push the button, and as you can see, that's quite capable of lifting the car, lift the thing off and on. And the reason we use that a lot of his drivers, some of the smaller, petite, sometimes women who operate this system. It's just an extra chore. They don't have to worry about the front jockey wheel and lift the thing up and down. And we find that these dual purpose front ball joint adapters are quite good because they'll adapt to both 1 7/8 and 50mm automatically. Nothing to worry about there. So we'll do the up and down thing, show you how that works. We can use the remote control, and if you haven't got a remote or it gets lost, then you can obviously just push these two buttons here on the side, up and down. They're going down, and you can see how it sits on the ground there. Real low, you're not going to have any trouble. No need for a ramp. We've never had a pulley system or anything that has to pull a car on. Usually you can get away with that. If we want to take the thing off the trailer, we'll just do. There we go. That's off the car now. I'll lift it up again so I can push it back a little. Okay, so I just rolled it off the car again. No, I mean that it seems a bit extravagant, I know, but actually we really like it now. Just turn that pump off so you can hear me. Down on the ground, put the back down on the ground. Now you couldn't get it flatter than that, and you couldn't get it easier. So the application for the trailer traditionally was vehicles, obviously, motorcycles, tractors, you name it, but in fact we've had a number of people who install sheds or workshops on them, mobile dentistry units, or even carrying portable buildings. And as you see, once you've got it on the ground, it's perfectly flat. And if you want to get it up, well, you couldn't. It's no easier than pushing a few buttons. So I'll do that for you. Up we go. Push these. Very quick. Look at that. So there you go. That's the latest one. We've added lots of tie down points because they were proving to be a necessity, and in the corners we've just made these little adapters for the big truck tie downs. It means that it goes inside the clip and that tie down won't slide around, won't come off. Again, we've avoided putting a tie down in the middle here between the two wheels because we don't want those tie downs sliding sideways and maybe getting caught up in the mud guards. I think that's all I can tell you. You've seen them all before. This is really just a more thought about trailer with a few more fancy bits on it. The dual tanks make a massive difference to how quickly it goes up and down, as you can see. I'll do that again for you with the remote control. Down and now up. Look at that. That's how long it takes, and it's not much difference when you've got a load on it. It actually doesn't do anything really different. Ride height, generally about there. Ride height is around about halfway up the wheel centres, and that's where it'll sit on the road very comfortably. The other beauty of all this is that it tows very well, simply because you don't have any direct suspension link, so no springs and hard stuff. It's actually air ride. And surprisingly, when you're reversing, it's also very, very easy. And of course, it's light. I mean, it's no lighter than a standard trailer, but because it's all airbag, it tends to move very easily with, there's one hand pushing the trailer. That's it. I'll do some more when we have more interesting things to show you.